If you find the information useful, please click the like button so others can find our content. For more information, please visit us at thejerusalemassembly.org. If you have questions, contact us on our Facebook page. The links are provided in the description below. April 15, 2020. The Value of Synchronization and the COVID-19 Crisis. By Ruben D. Garcia. Did humanity's creation occur as a result of coincidence, as it has been taught, as a convenient factor of an evolution? The truth is no. Humanity was not created in such an aspect but rather within the realms of a divine being with divine purpose for his creation. You and I greeting. My dear friends and readers, I wish you all the peace of the great I Am during these troubled days, but embedded in all of these fears there is a divine resolve humanity will understand shortly, and after thousands of centuries of perplexed existence, humanity will know forever its purpose and meaning. Humanity, until this virus crisis, was nurtured to exist through a series of events that although were accidental were purposely made to be believable and was planned or arranged by some order. It was known in the realms of mysticism and spirituality as karma. It governed our failure or successes during our existence, and for a long time mankind believed with all his passion, limiting us to see the grand scale of humanity's divine nature. Simply, limiting our potentials. Karma was given to explain the reasons of our actions which more than not, were not coincidental, as it was made to determine our destiny. It was the proverbial thought, thinking within the box and not outside of it. Life was a destiny carousel that would remain idle if action is not placed on it. At some interval of the human being, a small push would be given and it would move for a while but remained idle as force abetted it to stop. Once in a while, an unexpected strong wind of chance would move it without human input. In all, the carousel amused but did not go anywhere. However, being able to get off of the merry-go-around, an individual could take the time to consider, speculate, and exercise his divine right of free will to change, modify, or alter the rules of the so-called influence of karma. In many instances, humanity possessed the ability to exercise his free will with its powerful virtues that would be available in such a degree of quantity that would baffle the mind. However, it always seemed that all of the vastness and greatness offered to man fell into a materialistic colander in which it would fall into a waste condition. Some of its influences would remain, but more often than not it would leave none. But all of this began to change on December 21, 2012. Yes, my believed readers, it began on what once humanity thought would have been the end of humanity, when in fact, it was going to be the beginning of something far greater. It was to be the beginning of an unprecedented rise of not only consciousness but honesty, truth, and the purity of love, kindness, and peace. It was no longer the merry-go-around of thousands of years past, and neither would it be the karmatic principles of past destinies or human spiritual adventures. The current crisis of COVID-19 has been identified as deadly, tragic, and invincible, but in reality it was the antidote humanity desperately needed to overcome a spiritual and emotional illness that plagued us for hundreds of years, especially in the last 150 years of humanity's existence. This conscience disease that engulfed all of the earth was so much more influential. The emotion and spirituality that the masters often spoke of became nothing more than a picturesque painting that people ignored. Yes, COVID-19 will be given its rightful purpose in years to come, and historians will declare it to be the perfect remedy for a corrupted and uncaring humanity. This uncaring and insensitive attitude affected most of Mother Earth. We were her worst children against everything she gave to nurture our divine nature. Therefore, it was time to put a stop to it all, and so it was deemed that humanity urgently needed to recognize the need to change voluntarily at first, but it failed. Thus, from a divine cosmic level, agents of the Great I Am agreed to intercede on behalf of Mother Earth as expeditiously as they could. I assure you that this will be made known to all of humanity sooner than you think. Our isolation has demonstrated to all of humanity that there is another world, another Earth in which human beings can coexist with other creatures. In short, we should recognize that COVID-19 is not the foe. In fact, we as humanity are the criminals, and the presence of COVID-19 coincides with this cosmic manifestation of protecting Mother Earth. Just look at how pristine is the sky. How fresh and breathable is the air you breathe. See how the creatures of earth are roaming in peace and tranquility throughout the world in places that once were governed by humanity. Yes, the earth demonstrated what she desires for humanity to maintain what she has done to restore her beauty as she was once. The question of the day, other than when will it be over, is can COVID-19 appear again? Yes. All will depend on how deep this virus affected not only our conscience but also our emotional and spiritual principles. Whether we have become aware or not, the virus will be set aside under what I call an incubator, not by humanity but by Mother Earth. Here is the fact. Mankind has learned that this virus is unique in its entire element. It is not as its previous viral relatives. In fact, I consider it for the purpose of this article indestructible for the time being. The key to this is so simple that it will surprise you. You are very much aware that the virus has caused many deaths throughout the world. Due to the large number of deaths and the inadequacies to take care of the dead ones in a proper manner, most bodies are being buried in large graves as well as mass cremations are occurring. It will be made known to humanity later on that this unique virus will not give up that easy. In fact, it is Mother Earth that will be the one guarding it if it is needed again, all depending on the future action of humanity due to what has been learned from this crisis. I am one of those that does not approve of the President of the United States to allow airlines to rise to the impact airlines caused on this earth, also, the insensitive industries that caused a degree of toxic environments around the earth. The priority for the USA and the world is food. Yes, food staples should be the priority the President should make as priority one. If he does revive the airline industry before he does consider food as priority one, his legacy as a great president will be stained by this action. Immediately, most people will not care or need to fly. Airplanes will be for the most part empty while they will again be filling the sky with what once was considered detrimental to the air we breathe. And by the way, Mr. Biden would do worse if he becomes president. Trust me on this. The numbers are against him as it was for Clinton, Obama, and Bush Jr. So now, humanity is caught between two choices which to contemplate according to the news and other agents, the choosing of two evils. It should be strongly considered by the President that stimulating the core of the American society, the middle class, the farmers, and the industries that provide our food through products that provide for our existence are primordial. Would the President's aides and friends that surround him confer him this suggestion herewith? I doubt it, because they are in the dome of a reality that is judged from the mind and not their hearts. If our President were to make this unprecedented decision to concentrate his efforts in what is on earth and not what is to be in the sky, the bewildered, perplexed, and desperate people and their needs for food after this crisis would see him as a savior of people of the world, and not only he would make America great but the world. He would be seen as a great human being. Such a heartfelt action would create a legacy of his action that would span many years ahead and would be the example for the new earth and humanity. All I can do is watch what his decision would be. His choice is simple: it can be wise or unwise, black or white, or good or bad, there is no in between. Simply, the heart speaks or the mind controls. Good luck, Mr. President. The key to the success to really defeat COVID-19 is for it not to reappear in the very near future. Again, place your heart above your head. It may seem to be too emotional, but all that this crisis has done is poignantly indicate that humanity better begin a new trend of conscious thinking ruling over negativity and start strongly considering the earth as a whole. No longer consider again subdivisions of people, ideology, or beliefs. Create unity. Failure to do this, I assure you that within 1 decade, 1 generation, we will see the re-emergence of COVID-19 as a retaliator, and the most important has to do with how we are disposing of the infected bodies. My dear friends, you will be told later that the virus will remain within a dead body. It does not die with heat, cold, or humidity. In fact, humanity will be told, about July of this year we will be told that there is no evidence that the virus would die along with the body. In fact, you will be told that due to the large number of deaths every day, it was impossible to administer all the necessary fluids to the body, therefore for some minimal steps were taken. Bodies were buried in mass graves, mass graves are in the earth, and the element earth, does it not belong to nature, Mother Earth? She once retaliated on her behalf due to her agonizing state of neglect and corrupted the mind of mankind that in some degree allowed for COVID-19 to exist. Allowing for Mother Earth to have time to recover from its wounds committed by our insensitiveness. What a better place to incubate and guard the element that caused all of this trauma in humanity. Mother Earth is a living and breathing being, entity, my beloved friend. This you will know when your altered conscience will bring it to light or awareness. Until then, COVID-19 remains dormant, not dead. How is it, you may ask? How do you know these things? There is no secret, my beloved friends. It is a simple fact that there is no coincidence but only destinies embedded in potentials supported by a numerical value. After all, the whole cosmos is built on a mathematical formula, and all along in my articles I have been providing you them as each one affects humanity, especially COVID-19. I am one of those individual that recognized the value of the theory by Tesla of the value of the numbers 3, 6, and 9. Believe it or not, they are more than vital or significant not only on humanity but every single human being in the same manner that affects every planet, galaxy, and the heavens. More on this in another article, in which I will share with you the applicability of these three numbers on everything that affects you daily. Knowledge of how you can utilize such power and gifts is fantastic. Now, for the current matrix of COVID-19 as applies to today's mathematical concept. I have been observing and writing down the statistics of COVID-19. First, humanity arrived at the 2 million, infected exactly at 2 a.m. on April 15, 1 plus 5 equals 6. Remember Tesla theory of numbers 3, 6, and 9 supporting potentialities? Good. Next, the total number is read as 2 million, and if you notice the numbers 2000 refers to the year 2000. In the year 2000, the USA experienced a dramatic recession. And who was the sitting president then? William Bill Clinton, which happens to be the 42nd president. Check this out, 4 plus 2 equals 6, coincidence? Nope. As you know, he came with a big scandal and various other episodes that were aligning with the defeat of his wife, Hillary Clinton, to Donald Trump. This presidency would have been reserved for a spiritual and chosen one, not by the people but by the universe, i.e., 45th president. 4 plus 5 equals 9, the number virtually in a destiny decree by a higher domain and encompassing humanity's ascension. In the case of Hillary becoming the 45th president, as not in the matrix from the beginning of her husband's matrix, more later on the 44th president, Barack Obama, and why the universe has and will have a legacy so much negativity that much will be made transparent regarding him, his life, and his presidency. Beware of his involvement in the 2020 election. I will show how the numbers points to intent to derail the ascension of humanity, but more than this, the conscience of America. If Trump has made America great, interference of Obama along with Joe Biden is written by the numbers as the ultimate disaster in the political arena. The coming wave of previous darkness will make the motto "Make American Great" into "Bring America's Dread." Be prepared to be very afraid if our consciousness reverts back to those ideologies and sentiments. I don't often believe in circumstances or coincidence, therefore the outcome of such intervention into an already ascended humanity must be given a degree of attention and hope that the free will of America has the sight in the great light and not in the darkness we endured from the year 2000 to 2015, when a new cosmic revelation swept over this nation and the American people sought change and honesty. I am very leery of those that view evil in COVID-19 crisis as they blame the heavens for it when it is not. All that was and is the COVID-19 crisis is and was man-made and executed along the matrices of an already written period deemed to exist during this exact period, the year 2020. Be prepared to be amazed and surprised when the veil of deception and perpetrators is torn, allowing so much truth that has been hidden. You can't imagine at this time the scope and depth of the world in which we have lived in the last 24 years. It was revealed in 1987 and 1997 to me, and it influenced me to take early retirement from the military and move to the mountains of Tennessee and wait for the divine appointed destiny of humanity to unfold, and it has since December 21, 2012 and will continue until December 31, 2040. Continuing with the matrix, as the toll of infected people reached 2,002,020 infected. It was 9 a.m. April 15. The statics showed the USA had a total of 815,302 and 26,114 dead with 49,966 recovered. Looking at the total number of infected individuals, 2,002,020 shows two matrices or destined events. One is the numbers 2002 that represents the year 2002. In the year 2002, the USA witnessed the stock market crash. The sitting president was George W. Bush, and you remember how the election went and the delay in making legal the votes. It was also during this 43rd president that another crisis raised 9 to 11. According to the Tesla theory, the number 7, 4 plus 3, denotes to be secondary with completion as the Bible tells us. But when dealing with matrices, 7 is within successes, therefore it is often the mediator of great events. In short, it is the opposite of triumph. It is for this reason his presidency was plagued with the horrors of 9 to 11, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Next, observe the number 2020, 2,002,020, in which the year 2020 is defined in bold. This happens to be our year, and so far you can see how the matrix has defined our current situation with more to come. I will expect that by tomorrow, April 16, 2020, the total numbers would have reached a phenomenal 2,022,020 infected individual with continue rising until a 2.5 million infected will be the sign that a stability the world may begin to see a light along the horizon. Until then, be safe and of course stay with my current articles relating to COVID-19 and more. One last comment, I understand that some of my readers may think that this information seems speculative, and that is all right. But herewith I want to add something for an interest in the future, because the numbers are dictating the plan or map that humanity will travel through as humanity ascends to a higher consciousness, and with this ascension comes the virtue of being able to see what lies beyond the horizon. I can give you assurance that it is real and at times a burden, but it is like a birthmark that you cannot erase or take away. According to the total aspect of adding all three total numbers of the infected, it comes to 6,022,020. Adding them together adds to 12, and with the theory of assurance, 1 plus 2 equals 3. The number 12, 12, is significant as it is described in the Bible for unity with God, hope and trust in Him, and within the numbers you have synchronicity and also a point into the future to keep in mind for those that would be here, i.e., the number 2202. Adding them together it becomes 6, 2 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2, 6, 6. The number within Tesla 3, 6, and 9 consisting in the theory representing understanding. It has the synchronicity but also highlights a year which just happens to be 182 years from now. Add them together and it becomes 11, and as described above, 11 represents equality and unity, there is no separation. Humanities will be contemplating a major event during that period requiring attention to not only unity but solidarity. And so it is. Namaste. April 16, 2020. Significant disclosure. Note. As of 8:25 a.m. this morning, April 16, 2020, there are 2,100,874 cases of COVID-19 worldwide. America reached 666,153 at about 11 p.m. on April 15. The world has 136,185 deaths with 521,185 recovered. A recent check on April 16, 2020 at exactly 12 p.m., the world count is 2,122,051 cases of COVID-19. Synchronicity is revealing itself again. All of the numbers adds to 12. Remember the value and integrity of the number 12 because it is going to be one of the major matrices on the future of humanity's ascension as we all are experiencing as I write this article. Be joyful, for your not only salvation from this crisis would be over but also your consciousness is being detoxed along with your patience, tolerance, and closeness to the universe and heaven. A new attitude will emerge by July 2020 that will reflect again on July 17th and 18th of the year 2202. Time will tell. It depends all on you, your faith, for it will be shattered by a great celestial event that will bring within you a marvelous experience. I hope to be here to announce its arrival so you can experience the delight and favor the great Master said to us for this period, know when the tree will give fruit, for the harvest is near. And so it is and forever shall be. Namaste, and oh yes, the numbers will rise, denoting other potentialities. God is great. Believe and trust in what your heart manifest. Beware of media and other factors that wish to impede your ascension.